I'm doing it. I'm jumping out here, and I don't care who gets mad, because I respect that people who don't want anything to do with religion. I don't Bible thump people. I don't say, oh, you're a bad person because you don't believe what I believe. But I will not tolerate anyone calling me names because I am a Christian and I don't accept participation in gameplay of anything that's outside my faith. Okay? So this channel called Pixelade made a very nasty, discriminatory, and a bad video that is calling all people of faith, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're Jewish, whether you're Buddhist, whether you're Hindu, whether you're Christian, whatever your religion is, whatever the religions are in the earth, which are many, many religions. There are billions of people who are religious in the earth that don't want to participate in homosexuality. So excluding people of faith, not just excluding people of faith, but calling them names. So if I don't accept your ideology about homosexuality, then I'm a bigot? No. Faithophobics are not allowed, okay? I don't make videos talking about people who are outside my faith and how they're all gonna go to hell or whatever. That's not my position to judge other people for their behavior. God will judge them, and I have said 1 Corinthians 5, chapters 5 through 9 says that's not our job. God will judge those outside the court, okay? But that doesn't mean I have to take abuse from channels like this, because here's what happened. There was a mod that was made for the Sims game, and it was very hateful because they were trying to strip all Sims and make them all white. But not just that. That was disgusting. I'm like, why would... What? Okay. Anyways. So, it was just rude. Right? But anyways, they don't allow mods, that are supposed to be, like, bad or evil. Whatever. Okay. So, there's a mod that takes away... Like, they changed the wording from husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend to partners to be inclusive to homosexuality. So someone made a mod that makes it boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. So that we people of faith, if we want to be called husband and wife instead of, partner or whatever. And there's, as far as I know, there's no issue with that mod. And I use that mod, right? Because I like the word husband and wife. I think it's beautiful. I just like those words. Partner is not okay. We're not live-ins. We're husband and wife. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? But here's one thing that I've complained about in the Sims game is all the nannies are black and bald. Why are all the nannies that I have seen in the game black? Why don't we have a diversity of ethnicities in, a servitude type career? I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was so annoying. I stopped using nannies. I just use babysitters, right? It's just, I don't like that lack of diversity. I'm just like, what is happening, right? But nobody said anything about that. Pixelade didn't say anything about that. Nobody paid any attention to the fact that that was happening. But I said that in my videos. So then he says he's making comments about people of faith who are a legally protected group. You cannot be discriminatory towards people of faith. We have to balance our rights. Okay, so the United States Supreme Court has given rights to people who are of different... They're not religious, basically. And they have their rights. They're now a protected group of people. But that doesn't mean you get to step on my rights. I'm a legally protected group. And the United States Supreme Court has made that clear over and over and over and over again. Like these people who go to these, bakeries that are Christian. It's a Christian business. And try to force them to make something that violates their faith. And so that was taken to the higher courts, right? But when they made gay marriage legal, and I read the SCOTUS ruling, it made it clear that you will not strip the people of faith from their rights, that they do not have to participate, and they have the right to continue to advocate their faith and not participate in things that are against their faith. So you don't get to make a game that excludes people of faith, right? So they give us, for example, they give us options. If we don't participate in burglary because it's triggering to us, then you can just in the settings exclude that. But here's what they're doing. They're pushing, you know, like, okay, so if you buy a world and it's got couples that live in the world, then basically you may have a homosexual couple living in a house and you can choose to evict them when you buy the house, but there's going to be couples in your gameplay, and I don't think that's right. I think that you should have exclusion settings for people of faith. Hello, Mr. Pixelade, people of faith are not bigots. They're protected people too. And I'm not going out of my way on none of my videos. I have thousands of videos on my channel. Not one of them will you see me like targeting people who are not of my faith. I don't do that. I don't make videos like, or whatever their sins are, you know? I don't do that. Okay? I don't go and bash people of other religions, right? I try to be kind to everybody, but don't step on my toes. This is a personal game, right? So I want settings in the Sims 4 game that allows us, we shouldn't have to make mods for Christian attire. You have Muslim attire, the hijab, that's included in the game. So why aren't Christians, why don't we have crosses in the game? Why don't we have, you know what I'm saying? But one of the things The Sims does is it allows mods. It does allow mods so you can customize your experience. And you can remove people. You don't need a mod to remove homosexual couples from the game. You can just delete those Sims if you want to have a game where you don't have to see that in your gameplay, right? The Sims and the EA and these EA content creator channels, they need to watch their mouth when it comes to people of faith, because I think it's time to do a class action lawsuit for all people of faith. I don't care who this makes mad, right? Don't step on my toes, Pixelade, right? What it is really and truly, we need to be inclusive to everybody. Don't target people because they don't think the way you do. Don't target people of faith, because when he called people of faith and they're all bigots, you can just block me. If you think that trans should be included, homosexuals shouldn't be included, then you're a bigot and you just need to block me. Okay, you know what? That is behavior that EA should not be allowing. And I know there's a lot of Christians and people of other faiths who think the way I do, because there are mods being created that are good for people of faith. For example, the mod that changes the wording from partner to husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend. We want those specific words. So, okay? And I don't want to see little boys walking around dressed as girls, and I don't want homosexual couples in my game. I didn't even know about this mod. I just delete them. I'm gonna say it. I delete those Sims from my game. Yes, I do. Don't you dare call me a bigot, because I'm not a bigot, right? I think there's all kinds of people in the earth, and that's been the way it's been since the Bible times. Okay, Sodom and Gomorrah, those things in the earth from thousands of years ago, centuries ago, yes, they were in the earth. They literally have stories in the Bible about that. But I don't see Jesus walking around and you know what I'm saying, like targeting people, being mean to them because they're not Christian and they don't follow the way of Jesus Christ. I don't see anybody doing that, and I don't accept that kind of behavior. And I don't know why on earth stripping people, like the diversity, taking diversity from the game. Okay, when you strip Christians and Muslims and Buddhists and Hinduists and Jewish or whatever religion they are from the right of not being called names because they don't want to participate in homosexuality in their private gameplay in their home, you're the one being a bigot. That is discriminatory. Let me say it again. People of faith are illegally his channel, and not only am I reporting his channel, I'm going to EA and I'm saying, you know what, if you continue to allow your content creators that you're partnered with or whatever to insult people of faith, then we need to take you to court, and we demand mods that allow us to remove homosexuality and trans stuff from the game. Not removing race, ethnicity. I don't know why somebody would do that. I don't know what was behind that. All I know is, one, I'm tired of seeing all of the nannies in my gameplay being black and bald. I don't know what's up with that. But I have called that out. Nobody has. That needs to be on the laundry list like yesterday, right? Pixelade didn't say nothing about that. And two, you will not continue to attack people of faith by calling us bigots because we don't want to participate in things that goes against... Okay, so for example, I'm participating in drunkenness. I'm participating in violence because I don't... that's against my faith. And I don't participate in anything homosexual gameplay because that's against my faith, right? And I'm protected from that. But I'm not going out of my way to like disparage people who are not of my faith and live a lifestyle that's not of my faith. I don't think that that would be okay. But we have to have a balance here because guess what? People of faith in the United States of America and in many countries are protected people. And you have hundreds of millions of people playing Sims 4 and all the Sims across their franchise from around the world. Okay? And you know what? Homosexuality in some countries is illegal. Right? It's literally illegal. Like you could go to jail for that. In America, it's not illegal. Okay? We're supposed to have balance and respect for each other. But when you tell people, or protect a group of people, people of faith, that they're bigots because we don't want homosexuality in our gameplay, you're the one who's discriminating, and EA needs to be taken. This needs to be taken to court. This needs to be taken to court. And channels like Pixelade and YouTube, if YouTube allows Pixelade and other channels to attack people of faith, they need to be taken to court. I'm talking class action lawsuit. I'm not putting up with it. I am so sick and tired of on the internet of people of faith being attacked. And especially on YouTube. It is getting really bad. I'm not putting up with it. Right? And you know what? I don't tolerate or allow anybody on my channel to attack somebody or talk about somebody for their conduct or if they're not a person of faith. They don't get to talk disparagingly about them. They're a human being. You need to respect them. You don't get to bully them, right? I don't put up with that. But even and also if they're not of my faith and they're of a different faith, right? We don't get to disrespect them. Okay? No. But you're not walking on my toes. You don't get to call me bigot Pixelade and get paid by YouTube for views calling people of faith bigots. No, you don't. I'll take it to court. And I'm encouraging other people to stand up. Use your voice. Don't tolerate this. This is bullying behavior by Pixelade. Talk about the mod because it was wrong. Trying to make all people white or whatever. But to remove making, I guess, homosexual people siblings so they're talking about what they're doing in their private home, in their gameplay. They don't want to see homosexuals in their game. Ooh. And maybe they're people of faith, right? And by the way, they don't have to have them in their gameplay. They can just delete them, right? But so when you go in case you're not familiar with Sims, when you go into the Sims worlds, there's houses that you can build or buy, and then there's NPC characters that's already in the game. Okay? And so there may be a homosexual couple living in a house. I will delete them because I don't want that in my game. I don't talk about it. I don't be like, hey, there's evil people. No. I just know that my God in heaven doesn't want me to participate in that, right? But I don't, go around, saying mean things to people that's their lifestyle. No, Pixelade. And for anybody who thinks you're going to come to my channel and make comments on this video, guess what? Your comments won't be visible to anybody but you. Because that's why all my comments are reviewed for, approval. And I'm going to be contacting YouTube personally. I'm going to send them a certified return receipt letter. I will show you that process. And I'm going to send it. And I'm going to make a complaint and then I'm going to send it to a lawyer about channels like this, thinking that they can just go ahead and just insult all people of faith. No, you don't get to do that. No, you don't. You don't want to be bullied. People who are, not religious, they don't want to be bullied. It's like what happened, like it used to be that people who were homosexuals, they were horribly targeted and abused. And that's not okay. But you don't get to turn around and bully people of faith. No, you don't.